Welcome to the Nerd in Motion YouTube channel, and today I thought I'd give you a little tour of my cab and what all the buttons do, because not a lot of people know what all the buttons do, so I'm going to show you.
Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time.
So this is inside my truck. As you can see, it's telling me that I'm on a brake, or I need a brake. There we go. So there's a lot going on inside one of these. Let's work our way from this side to that side. So first of all, up here, I'll turn on the ignition because a lot of it doesn't work otherwise without the ignition on. So up here we have our weighing scales. So this allows us, we tip the body up slightly, and as we're being loaded, this will tell us how much weight we have in the back. Obviously it's actually down now, so ignore that. We're currently at around 18,290 kilos, I think I've got in the back. Here we have some lights which light at the top of the bed behind the cab. So early mornings, late evenings, it just helps the loader see what it's doing. I also use it in the morning when I'm doing inspections. It just gives a bit of light around the sides of the truck, help see what we're doing. This is the beacons, and there's beacons on the front, back and the side. This is something to do with the camera system. This is my tacho, telling me I've had 9 minutes of break. This fella here, this does this light right there, and we've got another map light here. Big old sun visors on this one, huge. Got two of those, and we have a blind on this side. We've got a little thing saying how tall we are. We're 11 foot 4 inches, and then we move down to our multiple mirrors. We've got here. Well, you've never seen a mirror thing with so many different adjustments, but you can adjust that mirror, the one on the very front up there, which looks down so that we can see if anybody stood in front of the truck, which is honestly super useful and, you know, makes a massive difference to safety. We've got another one at the side of the truck that it adjusts at the top here. That's my finger looks massive. There you go. That one there. That's to check that how close you are at the side, and then obviously the two main mirrors to see down the side of the truck. All gets controlled off here. We've then got, you can heat all those mirrors from that button there. Now we are in and out of wheel washes all the time because of the mud. I mean, the mud is, especially this time of year, is an absolute battle. It's just mud everywhere. So when we go through the wheel washes every time, it sprays all the cab. So we've constantly got watermarks, so we have to wipe the mirrors all the time, keep them clean. I put Rain-X on them, and even then it's still not enough. You'll recognise a lot of the switch gear out of VW, because MAN is a VW product. But you'll notice that the rev counter only goes to 2,500 RPM, and that the speed only goes up to 70. You've got your fuel gauge and your AdBlue on the other side there, and then we've got a computer here that you can flick through. You can do a light test in the morning, and that will go through a sequence and flash all the lights. You can check your service intervals, your engine oil, your air pressure in your tanks, how much brake linings you've got, all that kind of stuff is all in there. Coolant temp sensor, and then you've got all your trip computer. The fuel consumption on these is incredibly interesting. 6.4 miles to the gallon this does, but you think, well, that's a lot, but it's 12.5 litre 6-cylinder, 420 horse I think these are, with 2,100 newton meters of torque. So it's actually not that bad, to be totally honest. You can also put your speed up on the gauge if you so wish, like that. And it's just another driving aid, and yeah, it's got all sorts of bits in there. So yeah, handy computer. You can configure it all your headlights here. There's my taco roll, always got a couple of spare ones of those. And then we're on to this side. So we've got a 4-camera system here. So you've got one either side at the front of the driver and passenger's doors, checking my blind spots. You've got one at the back and one at the front. And also, if I turn the indicator on, it will go to one camera, so to help me with my blind spot, and then flick back, which is very cool. Let me go into this here. So we've got like almost like an iDrive in the truck. Pull this back, and you've got your map, you've got navigation, media, radio. It has Apple Play, but I don't have an Apple device, so I don't use it. You've got all sorts of things with your setting, and then obviously your phone. But yeah, it's quite good. You're probably saying, well, why, John, if you've got a sat-nav, have you got another sat-nav? Well, this one has live data on it, and it's TomTom's latest thing with every bell and whistle on it. And so I take... Some of the roads are missing on this sometimes, where this is always up to date. So I just tend to use that one. But this is quite handy for an overview. And a backup, so if that fails, I've got another way through. I know you're all saying, well, what about Google Maps? Well, the problem with Google Maps is ultimately you can't put the dimensions of the truck and the weight in there. That's the issue, and it will take you on a 7.5 ton weight limit road or something like that, and then you're in big trouble. I've got full climate control, except for I've got an extra little button here, which is this side one. And what it does is, along here, there's vents all down the side of the window, and it keeps, you can have like a hot air curtain or a cold air curtain if you so wish. You've got your hazard light switch. This, obviously, this little doofer here is measuring cab temperature. We've got your hill start, so it holds the brakes on for you. This would normally do the scroll through cameras, but because this has an extra system, this is null and void now. Down here, we have your off-road ABS. Then we've got your diff lock, so this is left to right. And then you've got your centre lock, which locks both the rear diffs together. And then we've got a little one down here, which you only use on its own. You don't use with your locks in, because you'll break them. But basically what this does is, when you go full lock and you're on like really muddy or slippery surface, it locks the inside wheels at the back and helps pull you around. It almost makes it feel like a tank turning around, which is very, very cool. That's for your DPF regeneration, and this is for your lights. Your extra. I have extra reversing lights. I have them on all the time, because I think if I'm going backwards, I want everybody to know. Down here, this is what moves the body up and down. This little fella here, obviously it's air powered, and you have your load cover, which is basically, once you've filled up, it covers the load so it doesn't fly off everywhere. We've got down here, this is to move the column, so if I press that, now the column's loose. It'll go all the way up, but I don't really want to change it because I can never get it back in the right place. Then we've got, excuse the dust, we've got all the same as a Passat, as I understand, all your controls except for these two. And what that does is actually moves the revs up and down when it's on idle. You can adjust the idle speed, which is really cool. Your phone, your volume, and then on this side you've got voice control. This scrolls through your computer and all the things that you might want to access. Your return button, and this goes through all the different music options you have: radio, auxiliary, Bluetooth, etc. And that's for skipping your tracks. This is is that the best angle? So this does loads. This is like probably the most important thing. So you turn it, and that's drive, that's reverse. You press that in, that's neutral. Then you've got all your different modes. So if I turn it, you've got efficiency, manoeuvring, and off-road. So from what I can gather, Off-road, it holds it in gear when you floor it, so that you can just keep your momentum up without it deciding to change gear. Efficiency is day-to-day driving, and then you've got maneuver, so this will only allow you to stay in very low gears, and you can't change out a second, I don't think. So yeah, that's what that does. And I constantly use it when we go into quarries. I always put it in off-road mode. If you push it forwards, it goes down a gear. If you pull it up, it goes up a gear. If you pull it down, it puts the retarder on, and it makes an awesome noise. It goes whoa, and it has 3 levels of retarder, which it will show you on there. It's probably because it knows we're not running, it won't do it. But that's essentially what it does. Saves your brake pads, and yeah, retarder's fantastic. And then back there you have your PTO, and what that does, that operates the hydraulics to lift the body up. And yeah, there's not a lot I can tell you about that other than that's what it does. Your lights, same as a Volkswagen, identical, and an Audi actually, just same old switch. I'm trying to think of anything else I missed. Oh, on the other stalk, oh yes, one other thing, there's a little button on the end there. If you press that, it'll put it into manual mode for you, and then you can do the gears yourself. On this side you've got your squirty washers, the levels of your wipers, which I just operated, and how much delay you want on it, and then your indicators and your full beam. And yeah, that's about all there is to tell you. It's quite spacious in here, it's massive. Got a nice little cool box in the middle. Got all my rags by the side of me, my cleaning kit's down there and my hat. But yeah, that's my truck. I hope this video has been interesting for you, and maybe help teach you more about trucks and what they do and how to use them. But yeah, us truck drivers, we don't just sit there and drive around there. There's plenty of things that we have to do and keep an eye on. And yeah, that's it. So I hope you all have a nice day, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Goodbye.